Hello and welcome to the show with me, Gillian Godd. So today my guest is Kirsten Pomales Langenbrunner. It's a bit of a long name, but Kirsten, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Julian. So it's actually Kirsten Pomales Langenbrunner. Everyone gets it wrong. It's no problem.
Oh, wow. And earlier I was practicing it and I had Langenberger at the end. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, it's lovely. And Langenbrunner is your husband's name.
Yes, correct.
Pomales is yours. So is his German and yours Italian? Is that how it works?
So Pomales is Spanish, half Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Okay, it's lovely. Anyway, you are the COO of Facings, and I am delighted to talk to you today about your career and how you got into this business. When I first met you, you were blockchain, as we all were. So tell me just a bit about what you've been doing, leaving college, in the work field, before you got to this very exciting position.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the blockchain space since very late 2019. I, prior to that, had a 5-year career in public policy, working on mostly issues around free market economics, freedom of choice, things like that. Those crowds oftentimes get you involved in things like cryptocurrency. So I was aware of, crypto for a while. And had always, moonlighted on different startups over my career. Eventually, I, moved over to just the tech space more broadly. Left politics, was a little bit disappointed with the lack of, my ability to really make a difference there. I decided to get into tech. I thought I'd be able to create a bit of a bigger impact there. And, after doing that for a few years, I discovered that you can actually engineer stuff using blockchain technology. It's not just, a currency. And, once I realized that you can, write smart contracts and engineer software architecture on Ethereum, I was all in. So I really dived in, started getting involved in different chain ecosystems, and hosting community events, and eventually, got looped in with a few projects that I did consulting on for a few years. And then in 2020, pivoted over to the NFT space because that's where all the fun is.
Of course. And what first attracted you to NFTs when you saw them first? Were like shiny, sparkly things, or what did you think?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, when I first came across NFTs, like that was CryptoKitties. And I was like, why would people pay so much for this little digital object? Because I myself, I don't really consider myself like having a collector mindset, but so many people do. And, I've always been around people that have been like collectors of baseball cards or like Pokemon cards or, purchasing video game assets and stuff like that. So I was aware that it was such a huge market, but it didn't really click for me until, like I said, about late 2020 when the real boom started to take off in the NFT space. So I would say the reason that at that point it really drew my attention was I had been working on enterprise blockchain projects for a while. And, these projects are mostly, trying to bring together these large behemoth organizations to create things like consortium blockchains, private permission networks. And I was of the opinion that was, going to be the best way to help these brands, these enterprises adopt blockchain technology through kind of weaning them on through these more centralized pseudo blockchain projects. But I ended up realizing that even that is really hard to get them to adopt. Like a lot of times you have, a lot of distrust in blockchain systems, like companies are worried about their data leaking, yada, yada. And it ended up being very difficult to, see adoption move forward in that sector. So, in the meantime, I started seeing dozens and dozens of brands announcing that they're doing NFT projects. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's been taking you like 3 years to get this consortium blockchain network even started, but you just decided last Tuesday to do an NFT drop using blockchain technology. What is this? So I started doing a deep dive into like, why are these brands adopting NFT technology so much quicker than they were able to adopt, blockchain for supply chain or for KYC automation or any bevy of things. And the conclusion that I had was NFTs are so much more tangible. Like you could be anyone out there, and or well, maybe not anyone, but you can be a broader audience out there and look at this NFT and be like, okay, this is a digital object on the internet that I own. This is a object in a video game that I've been used to interacting with for decades now. Only now I can trade it easily on secondary marketplaces. Or this is a digital coupon like I get from Groupon, only I can trade it on secondary marketplaces. Like it's much more easy for the mass audience to understand, and for staff inside of major enterprises to understand. Then let's make a consortium blockchain network and come together and share our data through these channels.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I know when I was doing it, was it 2019 was the summer of DeFi, and it was exploding stuff, and it was amazing. But I thought if you weren't in the sector already, it's very hard to kind of comprehend, and certainly very difficult to get involved. It's kind of whoa. Whereas NFTs, love them or loathe them, whatever your opinion, they're easy. They're easier to comprehend, and it's like collectibles, art, tickets, all these things you're speaking of. It's definitely more the mass adoption tool, I think, than anything else. So you're now the co-founder and the COO of Facings. Tell me a bit about Facings and what it does.
Yeah, so Facings has been around since like early 2021. We are building a platform that enables pretty much anyone out there, whether you're an individual artist or a brand or a game studio, to launch large-scale NFT campaigns, to sell those for crypto or credit card, and to even do cool things like gamify them or add utility to your NFTs. So we have a self-service platform as well as an API for the more tech-savvy teams that basically allows you to mint anywhere from a few NFTs to hundreds of thousands of NFTs in a very user-friendly way. It abstracts away some of the complexity of dealing with the blockchain. We have a sort of resource management setup where if you want, you don't even have to own any crypto to mint your NFTs. You can just purchase minting credits with your credit card and create those NFTs, sell them on your website, and accept currency like dollars for that. So technically, with our platform, we're allowing folks to not even touch cryptocurrency, which has major implications for easing taxes and just creating a more simple environment for brands that are a little bit more cautious to interact with the world of NFTs. So it's been very exciting.
That's interesting. And that makes sense too, as well, doesn't it? To simplify the whole process.
Yeah.
And also, I know that other projects I've worked in, it's more in the enterprise side, but they offered blockchain services, but they allowed the clients bill them in fiat, because they said they don't want to bill them in currencies that they don't understand. It's going to be a bit crazy for them. So tell me, what's your, because I think, are you a digital nomad now? Am I right in saying that? What is
almost getting started.
Tell me what your day is like.
Yeah. So my husband Joey and I have been living out of Airbnbs for about a year now. We've basically been getting rid of as much stuff as we can. It was actually just last week that we did a little trial run of packing everything we own into some suitcases, because we're getting ready to, kick off the digital nomad lifestyle in April of this year. So it's going to be super exciting.
Awesome. And where do you plan to travel?
Well, we're going to be in Miami for about a month, and then I'm going to be hopping around Central Europe.
Maybe Liberland, popping in, saying hello.
Exactly.
So tell me, and what is your average day like? Are you like on the beach, in the cafe, with your laptop, buzzing around? Is that how you live?
A little bit more boring than that. So it depends on how many calls I have during the day. So as COO of a small growing company, you're pretty much handling a bunch of random stuff at any given moment. So when I have more like accounting or like legal stuff to do, I'll hang out at a cafe. I love co-working spaces particularly because better Wi-Fi and usually more quiet than a cafe, but I like to mix it up. And most of the time, if I have, a bunch of calls, I just take that from the office of my Airbnb.
Excellent. So tell me some of the more interesting projects that you've been working on so far.
Yeah, so over the course of 2021, Facings actually worked with a number of brands to facilitate their launches. So we, have had our engineering team working hard building the platform, but a lot of people, they want to launch sooner. So we were able to help, this run really amazing project. So Lars Kamenizishbeit is someone who's on our team who is an artist who's produced really amazing like pinup photography for a very long time. He has this awesome archive of so much phenomenal photography, and we were able to launch a really awesome collection on Wax that's pack-based NFTs of his photography, and it's been doing pretty great. Like it was so cool to see. That was really the first collection that we launched as an organization in more like early side of 2021, and we were able to do a lot of cool stuff, like experimenting with like burn events and leaderboards and just different ways to incentivize interaction and to create a more interesting like experience for collectors. So that was great. We also have, a crew from the UK actually, Skulls, which is a metaverse band. We launched their initial NFT drop. There were actually a couple of tickets for metaverse concerts that you could discover in your packs.
Skulls, they're make believe. They're not. It's not a real. It's a.
Well, there's real musical artists behind it, but like the band Gorillaz.
Yeah. I think I met the guys behind Skulls, and it was that inspired by his daughter was getting picked upon, so he wanted this really raunchy, kick-ass girls.
I wouldn't say raunchy. Kick-ass is a good word, though.
But like kick-ass girls. That we're going to take any rubbish. I beg your pardon. Wrong word. Totally wrong word. These are teenage girls. Okay, so that's amazing. You launched that for them.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what other projects are you doing? They're the two top ones that stand out for you at the moment?
Yeah, we did a bunch. So another awesome project that was actually for like the benefit of nonprofits was NF Trippy. So NF Trippy is actually a really cool project that involves crafting. So you can purchase NFT packs, out there on the market, and based on the NFTs in your pack, you can follow recipes and craft them together to create new NFTs. So that has been really, really cool to see, the kind of interactions people have been doing on that, and just, adding more recipes and seeing people continuously craft new NFTs to get, progressively rare and rarer NFTs. And basically, one thing that we did over the past year is a lot of the sorts of like utilities and gamifications that we are working into the actual platform that we're launching, the self-service platform and the API. We actually tested out in some of these trial collections that we had launched the prior year. So if you want some hints on what kind of gamification is coming in the platform in mid to late 2022, check out some of the prior collections.
Okay, excellent. And tell me finally, so Wax, most of your work has been done on Wax so far. What drew you to the platform originally, and what do you like about it?
Yeah, so really one of the hugest benefits to launching NFTs on Wax is just low cost to mint and no fees. So I can't tell you, how many groups have come to us, particularly like marketing firms or artists, and they're like, yeah, we don't want our NFTs to have to cost someone $500 to purchase off the market. That's not really the audience we're going after. We don't think they'll be able to afford that, yada, yada. Or if you're trying to do something like, create a coupon sort of NFT, if you're minting that on a chain like Ethereum, like it doesn't make economic sense, whereas Wax is perfectly poised to be able to have sorts of utility driven collections like that. And additionally, our target market, even though anyone can really use Facings platform, our target market is play-to-earn games. Play-to-earn games need to be able to launch very large-scale NFT collections, and to be able to, facilitate sales in a way that's integrated with their platform. And the wax space particularly has been booming for play to earn games. So it was also a very, strategic move to choose wax, entering into that space as our target market. So yeah, it's been really great. I do want to mention we are, of course, expanding to other chains shortly. But wax is the first chain to come on the platform.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best, especially in your new marketplace, your new service you're launching, and on your travels.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I want to see a diary of a digital nomad popping up and saying how you're coping. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today, Kirsten.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jillian.